If you're new to my channel, I'd love to introduce a few things to you. So my name is Jacqui G and I am an empowerment coach. Now, in the world right now, there's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of stresses. There's a lot of challenges. So I decided to jump on after not doing a live for some time. My last live was on one of my road trips. And just let's talk about the drama that goes on in our world and how much time we give to drama and how that drama can impact us as the people that we are. Now, the thing is in this world, whether it's online or not, is that we're never going to please everybody, ever. We're always going to challenge someone. We're always going to make someone feel uncomfortable. And the same thing will happen to us. As somebody that cares a lot, not just about myself, but about other people, and for someone that wants to see people succeed, where they're happiest, where they have their biggest joy, I know what it's like for people to not agree with me or people to judge me and then take that judgment on as my own. And one of the things I attempt to practice, especially being a neurodivergent person, is to ask myself 3 questions. And it's a strategy that I developed myself. So I call it my KBA check-in. Now, before I go into overwhelm, because of all the drama around me, I do my best to stop and do my KBA check-in. So why would I do that? What's the purpose? Well, drama, whether we're watching someone else's drama take place, whether it's our drama that is impacting our life. Hey, thanks for watching. I am on my phone. So Daniel, I think it is. Thank you for watching and thank you for the love and the like. I appreciate it. So whether we're watching other people's drama play out or whether we're watching or experiencing our own drama, the biggest thing that we could be aware of is how this drama is actually impacting our life. Like, imagine for a moment. Hello, thank you for watching. I'm on my oh, Erica, thank you for watching. I am on my phone and don't have my glasses, so if I miss your name, I do apologize, but I do appreciate you being here. I really do. I can see the comments, I just can't read the names properly. Hello, and thank you for joining. So we're talking about drama and how it impacts our life. So there was a period in my life where I was spending time with someone and everything that could go wrong in this person's life always did. Now, prior to that point with that person, I didn't have a huge amount of drama. So I kind of thought it was strange, like, why is everything always going wrong with this person? And then I realized that it unsettled me. Like, I felt sick to my core with it all the time. Like, we couldn't even go for a drive without something going wrong. Like, I'm talking, let's just go to the beach, but that was a drama on its own. Something that could be fun was always a drama. And I remember this one day, we actually did get to the beach. And I said, why is it that everything is a big deal? Everything just takes forever to get where we're going. I said, I normally just get in the car and go. Like, sure, I plan my trip, but like, it's not always a drama. Anyway, I realized one day that this person loves drama. Like, loves it. And how did I come to that conclusion outside of just watching him? Well, I took a step back one day and I said to him, okay, so this is how things are going to happen. He's like, oh, I don't know if I can do that. And I said, yes, here's our step-by-step of what's going to happen. My autistic brain was on. Anyway, he actually got it together. So I told him I was going to be there at a certain time, and I arrived 10 minutes late. Now that almost like upset me because I like to be on time, but I purposely gave him times that were like earlier than when I would arrive. So he would be 90% ready so we could get in the car and go. I drove a trusted vehicle that I knew wouldn't break down. Anyway, we got to where we were going. I'd already checked out the menu. I knew it would have things on it. You should be in a Disney princess movie. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that, Ali. Sorry, when I'm leaning in, guys, it's so I can read the comments because I want to thank people. Anyway, we get there and the day goes smoothly. And I'm like, this is amazing. I love it. It's so good. Had so much fun, right? And he said, oh my gosh, that was a horrible day. And I went, what do you mean that was horrible? We had a beautiful meal. We actually got a discount just to, edit, like we got there on time. Thank you for your comments and hello. And anyway, so I'm like, why was it such a horrible day? And he goes, because nothing went wrong. And that was the moment that I totally realized, right, that a day without drama for this person was a horrible day. Like to me, it was amazing. But for him, there was no drama, right? So he's like, how boring. And I'm like, wow, there's a difference between boring and no adventure to drama. And so I decided that if he needed to be having fun and really enjoying an experience, then that probably wasn't always for me. Like I could do it every so often, but not a lot, because drama actually puts my nervous system into shock. So how does drama impact you, your nervous system, your staying on track for your goals in your life? Like, does drama energize you and go, oh, next bit, like what else is going to happen? And can you live that way? Sometimes people thrive off it. I know, Erica, right? Like, they're just like, give me more. I need more, and I need to go and research, and I need to go and look at this. But I just want to say that depending on the drama that you're looking into, that can also make you a target. And by that, I mean that you could get attacked back. So if you're living on this drama, I run the other way. Yeah. Look, I will be honest, there's sometimes where I go, oh, what's going to happen next? It's a bit like watching a movie, but I try not to inject myself into it too much. Although, yes, sometimes I get drawn into it. I go, oh, it's like watching a movie. I wonder what's going to happen next. Do I need popcorn? Anyone got popcorn? Like, let's watch what's going to happen next. Oh, wow, that person said that. The thing to remember, though, is it's not a movie. Unless you literally are watching a movie. I love the way my brain switches between the autistic literal and the ADHD let's have fun. It's a learning experience. But, like, we can get drawn into drama. And I have often sat back, and with a lot of the things that I do is I do trigger people. Like I challenge them, or sometimes I'm a little too blunt with my, no, compliance says you can't do that. But really, maybe we needed to take a step back and really look at the whole big picture. I only eat popcorn during court trials. Well, there you go. That's your popcorn. I'm not so much of a popcorn person now. I'm more of a I'm not sure how you say it in America, but we call them chips. but we also call hot potato things that are fries. I think you guys call them fries, and we also call them chips. So sometimes in Australia we say cold chips. So yeah. So Erica, I'll sit with you for the next court trial, and you can have your popcorn and I'll have my chips, and we'll discuss what we think the verdict is and how it's going to go. That'll be a bit of fun. But I think the biggest thing that I've been reminded of late, and especially when my health hasn't been the best, is that the impact, great, love it, thanks Erica, is the impact that it has on our health and well-being when we're sitting in a heightened state all the time. And that's what sitting in drama can do. Now, we all handle life differently. And as I said earlier, this guy thought a day that was amazing, a lot of fun, a lot of laughs, was boring and not good. Mind you, he was laughing a lot. I'll tell you that right now. He was laughing a lot. But he took that as boring because nothing went wrong. I still laugh about it. I still sit there and think, oh, what now? Like, where did that go? But the thing is, I've been reminded of late of that I'm very empathic. And so when some people I know or have got to know quite well are sitting in a state of drama, not playing down what their situation is, but it is drama, it is conflict, it is all of this going on, I feel for them and I want to be supportive and I want to protect them. But for ourselves, we've got to take a step back and think, hold on a minute, how does this impact my life? The other thing is it can become all-consuming, especially if you have even one or two neurodivergent traits. You don't need a diagnosis for, you might have the trait of hyperfocus or hyperfixation, and you're not diagnosed as ADHD, but you have this trait, and you just become all involved to the exclusion of the rest of your life. You know, it could be, you know, following someone and going, oh, what's going to happen next? I mean, I follow people on Insta and they're sharing the journey of their pregnancy and things like that. And I'm like, oh, they seem like a cute couple. And, you know, I wonder what's going to happen next. And I wonder if they're having a boy or a girl and all those kind of things. But if I don't catch up on it, it doesn't bother me. So one of the biggest things I know is that I developed these personality profiles based on my observations of watching people, studying profiling a little bit, and just coaching and things like that, because I got curious about people. So I put together 2 different quizzes, one for business owners and one for individuals. And there's 5 personality profiles in here. And recently I was writing up about the impact of stress and how stress shows up differently for the 5 profiles. So there's innovator, stabilizer, optimistic, adventurer, and relationship builder. And I was sitting writing it up in preparing for an event I've got coming up in August. And I was like, oh, they all show up this different way in stress. And then I reached out to a friend of mine who's a psychologist and I said, hey, have a quick look at this and tell me. Now, here's the thing, is he always reminds me, he says, they're doing the quiz, so they're answering it, but you know that they're more than one profile. So when you give them the prompts or you ask them specific questions, know that they might not come from their primary result one, they might come from the secondary one. And I went, oh, good points. Because drama in our life impacts our emotional state, our physical state, our being present and being who we are, so we're putting more energy into it. And then it impacts the decisions we're making because we become reactive rather than responsive. So I would love to know whether you're watching live or whether you're watching the replay, because I haven't worked out YouTube settings, so the comments that are in here live don't go to the recording. I don't know why. I haven't worked it out, and that's a problem for another day. But I'd love to know, how do you react or respond when you're sitting in a space where there's a lot of drama, and especially watching that drama? Because the thing is, both are normal. It's normal to react, but if you can, it's better to respond. Thanks for the stream. I'm almost finished. Okay, I don't know what that means. But thank you for popping in and commenting. So I know that recently there's been some people I know, quite a few people that I know of, that I would call them acquaintances, and a couple I would call friends. And they've been going through a lot of, there's been a lot of back and forth. So it's almost like two groups of people going back and forth. And the drama that is coming out of this, I'm definitely reactive, I think. Thank you for sharing, Erica. I appreciate that. Do you think that you would then go into a response mode? Like, would you capture that as a reaction and then go, whoa, wait, hold on, that might not be the best way to handle this? Because I know when I go into overwhelm or I'm frustrated, what I do is I react. And that can be quite like, this damn computer. It's not the computer, it's the operator, me. But I'm trying to get it to do something and my brain can't compute it, and I'm very reactive. I'm like, and yesterday I was reactive because some people I know, there was false things said about them, and I became very reactive. And then afterwards I went, oh, that probably wasn't the right thing. Maybe I should have stepped into response. So from that moment forward, I went, hold on, I'm just going to respond now. Or maybe there's nothing to do. Like, once again, sometimes we've got to step back out of other people's drama. I'm not saying don't watch it. I'm not saying don't be supportive, but sometimes we step back and we watch. And I'm not saying treat it like a movie, because it's real people's life, but sometimes sitting back and going, I wonder, if this person does this, is this actually helping the situation? Is it making it worse? I wonder, was that the right decision? Not my decision to make, but I can still wonder. I react sometimes to a fault, but I definitely reflect on it, and sometimes not proud of my decisions. And yes, change, moving forward. Yeah, thank you for sharing. Appreciate that. So what I see on that is, and Erica, just give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down or a yes or a no. Do you mind if I do a bit of a reframe on something that you said in there? It's actually a positive thing, if that's okay. I'm just going to give Erica time to say yes or no, because there's a really amazing positive point that Erica's made in what she said. So those watching the replay, thank you. I appreciate that. I like to ask though. So one of the things that Erica has said is, I'm reacting sometimes to a fault, but I definitely reflect on it, and sometimes not proud of my decisions. That's the not proud of my decisions. So well, as a coach, if I was coaching you, I would say, so how could we reframe that? But I might just do that for a moment, and it'll either fit for you or it won't. But one of the things that I've learned over the years, and also with like myself and coaching people, is that when we sit and go, I'm not proud of that decision, to be careful of not sitting in that space for too long and going, yeah, messed up there. Right, yeah, no, that wasn't a good reaction, or that wasn't a good thing that I did. Okay, not the best or smartest move, but I did it. I own it. And next time I might choose something different. And what might that look like? So just remembering that we can be angry, we can be not proud of ourselves in that moment, but to not stay in that state for too long, because what we want to do is own it, of course, but then have the opportunity to move on in a positive way. In a lot of situations, we can bring in our past and those what I call static. So I'm bringing out my book, Empowered Woman, and in there we talk about static and signal. And one of the biggest things is that static is that thing of like, you should be ashamed of yourself, or you should be that, this or that. So if you have those records in your past, then just being mindful how often they show up. And then from there, sitting in with your energy of, okay, I messed up. I own it. I accept responsibility for what happened, what I did, what I said, how I reacted. And now I'm going to learn how I can respond. Because drama's never going anywhere. It's always going to be there. That's why they keep making TV shows in the drama genre. Like, you know, true crime, there's drama. Like, there's drama in the feel-good movies. But the thing is that how often can we actually go, like, how often does life actually turn out like it does in the movies? The movies are there with a lesson in there. And Erica, thank you for sharing. I love that you don't sit there for too long. I love that. Well done. And just, yeah, that brings joy. It's truly amazing how addictive drama is. And sometimes we don't even know it. We literally do not know how ingrained, or how I was I will, you know, be upfront. The Nancy Guthrie case, not making light of that situation. That is a horrible situation for Savannah and her family. But, you know, when it was first out there and we were getting streams about it and the media was covering it, even Australia was hearing about it. And I was like, I just want to know. I hope that she can be found safe. And I was like watching every day for updates and things like that. But I didn't stop my life just for that case. Like, it's sad, it's horrible. It doesn't matter what the case is or what is going on for someone. Those situations are not nice, they're horrible. But once again, it's not my place to sit and just throw everything out the window, because that's all I do is focus on that one situation. But one of the biggest things, as I said, right now here in Australia, so I work with a lot of business owners in what we call the NDIS. And so there's a whole story. You can go Google what NDIS is. It's a National Disability Insurance Scheme. And so people that live with a disability, some people have access to the NDIS. And then there's people such as support workers or allied health people, and they provide funding. So right now there is a lot of what I term as stress and drama around all the changes, because nobody knows exactly what the changes are going to be. We hear what they could be, what they may be. And then there's as happens everywhere, there's the headlines in the paper or in the media, and then there's everybody's headlines in social media of the feeding on the drama of it, rather than sitting back and saying, how can we make this different? How can we make this better? Or what if we just sat back and waited to hear what their decision is, because it's now out of our hands, and just breathe and do those stress releases. But unfortunately, a lot of the phone calls I get from people, both people that live with a disability plus those that provide services is I'm stressed. I don't know if my business has got a future. I don't know if my supports are going to stay. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. And uncertainty is one of the things that can create a stress reaction in our body. And then we go to somewhere where we have certainty, which could be drama, or it hopefully is a more proactive thing. But the stress that all this takes on our body is insane. And sometimes we don't realize the stress or the damage that's happening to our nervous system until that stress is gone. And one of the things is that when drama first goes and we let go of a drama, like I was in a toxic relationship, I ended it, I left, I moved on. I remember the first 2 months of that person not being in my life, and I'm going, something's missing. What do I do? Like, hold on a minute, there's peace. What do I do with that? I should be doing something. What am I doing? I'm not doing anything because I wasn't sitting in a state of reaction. And in the first few weeks, I slept. Like, I dated this person for some time, and then after ending the relationship and all the drama that came with it, I was like, I'm exhausted. And I wanted to self-reflect on that, so I journaled because I'm always open to learning about, human behavior. I'm like, why am I so tired? Like, this is crazy. And I realized it was because I was in a state of hypervigilance. I was addicted to that drama in a way. And when I didn't have it, I felt lost. So sometimes our identity gets caught up in other people's drama, our own drama. And when it's no longer there, whilst that's exactly what we want, it's like, now what do I do? And it's almost like getting to know ourselves again, getting to know ourselves even better. So if you've ever had that experience, I'd love to know how you handle it when you're finally going, oh, I'm so free of that person and that drama. Have you ever questioned, now what do I do? Or have you been able to go, yes, and moving on with life? Like, we're all different. I'd love to know how you deal with that. Because it's definitely something that I remember the first time. It was like, something's missing in my life. Like, what do I do? And yeah, my book behind me is on psychology, actually. So I read that as well. My sister was the drama in my life. Oh, yes. I have thoughts on that. And so I'm curious, did you redefine the boundaries? Did you move on from that person? Like, because sometimes when it's family, we can go, we no longer speak. She loves drama. Yeah. And Erica, I don't know you personally, so I'm never going to make assumptions, but how do you feel now? Like, initially when you stopped speaking, was there a period where you wondered, what do I do with my life? What's going on? Or whether it was like, yes, oh my gosh, we're out of here. There's no more drama. Brilliant. I've got all this time and energy back now because there's no drama. Or at least not that drama. I know that I was super hurt initially, but it's actually nice now. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. I remember a situation. I'm not going to define the situation just because this is my share and my experience. But it was in a situation, and I loved a lot of the situation. Let's just it wasn't a relationship, but And then all of a sudden it stopped, and I didn't even realize the drama until it stopped. So I just got used to the way these people did these things, and it was like, oh, it became a new normal. So I think that that's often what happens, is we've got to be kind to ourselves as we say goodbye to people that bring drama. And as in some people's experiences, it hurts and it's not nice, and we kind of question a lot about ourselves and if things could be different. So I think in all of this, there are so many levels to drama. There's so many situations where there's drama, and I think that it's really important to check in with our body and our emotional being to see, where are we at? Like, are we taking care of ourselves? And I'll be honest, when I ended this relationship with this guy, even though it was the best thing, it did hurt. And there was a sense of loss and emotional loss, the physical loss in the sense of a lot of aspects of that relationship. And we had gone to a lot of places. Like, we'd gone to a lot of different restaurants, we'd gone to a lot of different theme parks, we'd gone to a lot of different beaches and things like that. So every time I went to those places, it was like a reminder of how much I miss this person. So I learnt to experience those places in a different light. And one of the things with my neurodivergent traits is I can be a person of routine. But one of the things I learnt after having somebody that stalked me for a long time was, it was so good to be known at different restaurants and different cafes and different beaches and things like that, because when I was being stalked, and the person, when they were showing up at my house and I wasn't there, they would then start to try and work out which cafe I might be at or which beach I might be at. So having a lot of different ones was actually a saving grace, because it meant that I could still go to the beach and ground or sit at a nice cafe, but I always felt safe. So experiencing things on our own versus with someone else is part of the healing process. At least it was for me. But I think one of the things that we do as women, more so than what men do, is that we can hold on to things a bit more. So we don't want the drama, but sometimes we get the drama because it's like we're seen as that nurturing person. Often women are seen as nurturing and caring, and it's just assumed that they're going to be that person, but not every woman is the same. And a lot of women will stay in drama, toxic relationships until they feel safe to leave, which can be a contradiction, but there's a safety aspect in staying, in the sense of, the triggers, you know that you are in a sense of danger, but when to leave has to be strategically done. And leaving a drama, toxic relationship, whether it's in the workplace, in family, in a domestic relationship, it has to, I've been through it, and it has to be planned. And I actually interview a lot of women. There's going to be more interviews coming as part of the Positive Empowered Women project, and also as part of Empowered Woman book and the Empowered Woman membership. Like, it's all happening, it's all coming. And I've taken my time with this because I wanted to hear as many different women's stories as possible. And some agreed to be interviewed, and some said, no, you can just share my story, you can learn from me, I'm happy for that part, but I'm not happy for my name or to be on camera. And I totally respect that. So the drama relationship isn't always about domestic violence. It can be coming from family members, or it can be coming from a toxic work environment. And there's this imagery that goes back for centuries of women are the caretaker and men are the hunter-gatherer, and that archetypes of mother and women versus men and father is so different. It's so different in societies now, but the archetype from centuries ago of the mother stays home or the woman stays home to prepare the meal and to look after the children, and then the father comes home, it's like people still think that that's what happens sometimes, or it's at least expected. And that in today's society in 2026 can create challenges and problems. So how do women actually navigate that when they might be the, inverted commas, a hunter-gatherer versus the husband who stays home? And as we know, not all relationships are men and women. So there's all of those beliefs. I'm nearly 60, so a lot of what I talk about is what I have grown up with, the expectation, but also being in a world which is so very different now. And I think too, with access to things like lives and not just YouTube lives, but Facebook lives and videos and other social media platforms that you can do lives on, there's so many ways that we can be instantly watching somebody, and as much as they share their life online, we are seeing it. We have the opportunity to follow along, and then we start to tell ourselves stories about our life. And one of the biggest things I've noticed is that I will get less views, I will get less followers, I will get less likes. Like, I've been watching my numbers, not that I'm here doing it for the numbers, but I've been watching how many people are watching. And at one point it hit like 30 for like 2 seconds and then it dropped down to 2. And I can sit here and go, yeah, I want more people, I want more things, but I'm not drama. My channel is not drama. My channel is to empower you to live your life, to know who you are, to be who you are, and accept who you are. That's the primary purpose of my channel. Now, I do talk about NDIS because I have a lot of followers there too, but the other part to my channel is music. I love creating music and songs, and who knows, I might get the fitness stuff out again. I am a qualified personal trainer as well, but I'm never going to get the content, the views and everything like that because I'm not drama. You raise really good points. Sometimes it's really hard for people to look within and be honest. It is really hard. Thank you, Erica, for that. It is really hard. Come from someone, and then my next point to that, thank you for raising that, because my next thoughts around that are, how do we then create a habit of being really hard on ourselves? Or, so there's actually a couple of streams to that. So somebody might be the person that looks inside eventually they get to that point, whether they were told, you don't reflect, or you need to look at yourself closer, and eventually they do. But then how honest are they with themselves when they do? So that's the first question. Then the next question is, what about those people who constantly are really hard on themselves and they're being over hard and over critical? But I love the point about sometimes it's hard for people to look within and be honest. They just, at the moment, as I said, there's like 2 groups of people. Like, they're all streamers on YouTube, and there's 2, and it's almost like one person in one group gets attacked, inverted commas. Like, so I'm not going to use the word attacked. I don't like that. I mean, that is true, but let's just say one party says something about one person, then someone says something about, and it just goes back and forth and back and forth. And in the end, and all the followers, all the supporters on both sides are like, well, no, that's not right. No, you're not right. And then everybody, so this becomes a really big thing. And I think the key thing is that when does it stop? And it's probably not going to stop until people start to pull back, until people start to stop behaving in a way. And some of the people that are saying things need to take a step back and stop and reflect on what they're saying, because people are going to ask for evidence, or as said, is receipts. People are going to ask for that. So for the supporters of the channels, they're going to have their reaction because they support their people. So then the drama can continue. And I'm not saying that I'm not disrespecting what's going on. It's really serious what's going on. But the thing is that everybody's got an opinion. A lot of people are going to repeat what they've heard, but not check what is really going on. Exactly, you stop paying attention. You know, there was one person that said one day on their stream, I'm not going to name names, and they said, you know what, a lot of people are attacking me, they don't support me. And this person said, and I'm just going to pray for them. And I'm sitting there going, oh, that sounds really nice. And then the next breath, this person attacked somebody. But I want to just take from that first part of what if we sit back, and how different would our life be where we can support people from a distance and go, hey, what's happened to you is not okay. It's really not. And I'm sorry that you've got this going on in your life. And I'm sorry that you're going through this toxicity, these attacks. I'm sorry that you're going through that. And I fully, support you. But I'm not going to jump in and, open myself up for stuff as well. Is that wrong? Is that wrong not to support the people that you follow or you subscribe to, in that you're pulling back and you're saying, hey, I'm sorry you're going through this, but I actually don't need to bring your stuff into my life. I think watching a lot of things unfold in the world, everybody's got an opinion, and a lot of people aren't afraid to share their opinion, and they're keyboard warriors out there that are going to, even people that will call up behind a blocked number to attack people, to accuse them of things that is not true. But how much do we allow it into our life? Or do we sit back and say, what's my strategy for being able to be supportive, but also not dive right into it with them? I think it depends on the maturity of that watcher. Exactly. Well said. I have people that call me thinking I'm someone else, and out of probably I think I'm up to like 300 calls now. They all sound different, although there's a few that sound the same. One person actually took the time to listen to me when I said, well, actually, no, I'm not that person. And to prove it, go to my channel, go to this particular playlist, go down and actually look for that person's name. And I said, and then call me back when you've done that. Because I was being woken up in the middle of the night by all these women that believe I'm someone else. And it slows down, but it just doesn't stop. So there's one woman, her name is Lisa. She went off and actually watched the video that I told her to. And she rang me back, which I didn't think she would. I didn't even think she'd watch the video. And she rang me back and she goes, oh my gosh, you two are nothing alike. Like you live in the same country. So now what's happened is that I have been pulled further and further into the drama, and I've been sitting back going, so what do I do? Do I do a video, excuse me, and say, I'm not this person, and here's the video, and tag my video of this other person and say, here's a video of where I interviewed her? Do I ignore it? Do I be more present on that person's channel in comments so that all those people that think I'm her and think I'm causing problems or whatever their belief system is then see my name? But I have sat and actually looked at this situation from every possible angle, and short of us excuse me, I'm losing my voice. Short of us doing a video together, like a live together where we're literally physically, that is public, I don't know that even that would stop it. But it was impacting my sleep, it was impacting my mood, it was impacting my health, all because I got pulled into drama by supporters of other people. And these people now track me, use some of my stuff to then say that I'm that person. And it's actual drama that I don't need. Now, I will sit and watch the facts, and I can choose to support whoever I want to on YouTube, just as you can. But why do people always feel the need to drag other people into their drama? Why do other people feel like they need to accuse you? When I said to one person, I said, hey, I am not that person. You've got the wrong number. They said to me, no, I haven't. I'm like, yes, you do. And they're like, no, I haven't got the wrong number. I've got the right number. You are such and such. And I went, I am not that person. And I racked my brain, but the toll it's been taking on me, and I'm like, and one piece of advice was, well, change your phone number. No, that is my phone number. I have had it for years. It was the very first phone number that I got when mobile phones existed. That's how old I am, and that's how old that phone number is. And it is not my place to have to change it. So the drama continues, and the phone calls continue, and the accusations that I am this person continues. But the key thing is how I respond or react to it. And I've tried a few different approaches, and I'm probably not done trying things. But right now, I am here and I focus on empowerment, and I'm not a true crime channel, and I'm not a drama channel, although we'll talk about drama, or we'll talk about abuse, or we'll talk about those hot topics. But maybe it's time that I do more lives. Maybe it's time that out of this entire situation, instead of stepping back and not being seen as much, I actually step right out into the light and say, here I am. I'm not the person you think I am, in the sense of this other person's name, which I'm not going to say. It doesn't, like, those that know, and those that don't know don't need to know. But maybe it's time for me to step out and start the empowered success journey for everyone else. And maybe it's time for me to say, hey, this is who I am. You can like me, you can follow me, you can subscribe, or you can go, no, I don't need to see those videos. The one thing you'll get with me is very rarely will you get all the fancy screens and all that. I find just going live like this is actually better for me. I have the production stuff. I have all that. I've paid for that. But, random sometimes is better. Maybe, me showing up and doing more lives is the way to help sort out that particular drama of being called somebody else and getting phone calls in the middle of the night. Maybe I can improve myself in a sense of a sense of humor about it rather than getting more stressed about it. And to sit back and say, okay, people are going to believe what they want, but I don't have to change who I am because I come from heart, I come from soul, and I'm here to lift people up. I'm here to say, hey, do you know what your personality profile is? And have you checked out the free quiz? And do you know how this plays out in your life to have empowered success? My channel is boring compared to other people, although I am excited. I did reach over 9,000 subscribers recently, so not bad for someone that doesn't really do a lot of lives. I'm not here for the money, so to speak, because I'm not monetized. I'm here to reach as many people as I can to encourage you and empower you to be the best version of yourself. And part of that best version of yourself is understanding what happens when there's drama in your life. Because long-term stress impacts your health and your well-being. And if you run a business, it impacts your business, it impacts your team. So when you've got a situation of drama in your life, what can you do? Will you react? Will you respond? Will you react and then go, oh, yeah, if I think about it a bit more, might do it differently next time. Yeah. Now, I am going to be doing more videos talking about how the different personality profiles respond to different situations, such as health and well-being. And I will at some point do one on how the different personality profiles respond to drama in the sense of their primary way of things. So let me just give you a really quick example. So an innovator personality, if you've done my quiz, these will make sense. If not, the quiz links are in my bio. They're up there. The quiz is free. There's no commitment. And guess what? You only get one email from me when you do the quiz. I'm a terrible marketer. Absolutely terrible. But like an adventurer always looks ahead. So when there's drama in an adventurer's life, they will actually take a moment to stop and look ahead to what is going on and how it could impact things down the track. The stabilizer looks at how the drama is affecting now, so the status quo. So is it causing these big waves, or is it disrupting the status quo? So they'll want to try and fix that part. The optimistic goes, drama is drama, and maybe I could learn something from that. Oh, Erica, thank you for asking. The quiz is in my bio, so about I Saw with Jacqui G, but I will at the end of it put it in the comments as well. Thank you for asking. So the optimistic is more about, yeah, it happens, and a little bit more go with the flow. The adventurer type personality is like, oh, yes, quick burst of energy and a lot of dopamine, and that was really cool, but then they can let it go. And the relationship builder is that, okay, people, we need to bring this together. We need to work out how I can put all this together. I think you can find it too. Thanks, Erica. So with the relationship builder, they're wanting to bring people together to sort out the drama so that, we can maybe get back to a status quo or people can move forward. Relationship builders care about that connection. So if you're an innovator, you're always forward thinking, you're always looking ahead, and you can see it because you have visionary in you. And then the stabilizer likes to keep the peace. Let's keep everything moving along. And the optimistic will see both sides of it, but will always almost keep that at a surface level so they can keep going with things. And the adventurer sometimes loves that dopamine. Yes, that was pretty cool. That was a wild ride. but they're also very realistic in the sense of I can't put all my energy into this one thing. And as I said, the relationship builder, when it comes to drama, is really about bringing that together. So there you go. We don't need another live. I've just summarized it for you on drama and personality profiles. But over the coming weeks and months, as we really launch out memberships, the reason Empowered Woman book is not available yet is because I'm building something else out, and then I'm also working on another project. Typical ADHD. But I really wanted to bring it all together because it will make sense. And one of the memberships that I am building out is the membership specific to the book, and then all things being a woman and how to have empowerment in your life. And if in a toxic relationship, how to stay safe in the sense of I'm not going to tell you what to do, but just things to think about, because I know everybody said to me, you've stayed longer than you should have, but I had to. I had to stay longer. And a lot of people, unless you've been through DV, you don't understand, but I had to stay longer because it wasn't safe for me to leave. The consequences of me leaving at a particular time were going to be worse. There's never 100% right time, but I understood the triggers. I understood what set this person off, and I had to be strategic about it. Now, you don't always get that opportunity. Sometimes danger comes rapid and your life is at risk. Never stay when your life is at risk like that. Always get out, get support, surround yourself with the right people. But as we know in this world, there are so many different levels of drama. There are so many different ways we can handle drama, but I encourage you to come back and be you. Take care of you. Your health, your fitness, and your well-being. The one person that you can rely on to support you in that is you. You are that one person. Now, if you want some music to relax to, I have put together it's an hour, a bit over an hour long relaxation music that you can just play in the background. I'm going to put together a couple of pieces of music and songs for workouts, and yeah, because if I can bring you some tools, and then when we launch Empowered Success memberships and Empowered Woman membership, I'll let you know, because I mean, look, they're more than the standard subscriber memberships that people get monetized on YouTube. They are more, but you get resources, books, like support. And then if you want to join the community, you can do that. So all of that is coming. And this is what I love. I love to empower people. And you know what? I want to thank you guys. I want to say thank you, because I've really enjoyed this. And oh my gosh, it's been nearly an hour. If I go for 1 minute and seconds longer, I'll hit an hour. Thank you. Thank you for those that have popped in. Thank you for those that watched the replay. And thank you for those that have commented, because it makes it better. As I said, this channel is about empowerment. So if you want the drama, then maybe choose a different channel. But for those of you, thank you, Erica. I appreciate you being here. And I will do more lives. And I'm not going to schedule them. For me, in my situation where I am at the moment, it's random. So we're just going to do, oh, I know, I'm going to call them ADHD scheduled, because it's never on time. It's never sticking to it. But if you watch me long enough, you'll get to know my sense of humor as well. So thank you for being here. Let's see, can I get it to the full hour? So if we want to just hang around for 60 seconds more, we'll get it to a full hour. For those of you that have subscribed, thank you. I do have a goal to get over 10,000 subscribers. And I know that people often get a lot more subscribers and they get monetized, but I'm not overly worried about the monetization. I just want to bring value to you guys. I want to empower you to have success in your life and to laugh more than you cry, unless they're good tears, and to celebrate yourself and feel good about who you are, to love who you are. I know all of that sounds corny, but yes. Oh yes, we made it to an hour. Good job, team. Well done. Thanks, guys. I'll leave it here. Thanks to those. If you watch the replay, feel free to ask questions. And when all of this does its buffering and all of that stuff, I will add the links as soon as I can to the comments, to the quiz. If not, check out my description of the channel. They're definitely in there. And love you guys. Thank you so much. Keep being the amazing people that you are. And bye for now.